So this is an A-line dress, and we're folding our fabric by the yardage, not by the length, by the yardage of the fabric. So I'm going to bring out my full length measurement. The full length I'm working with is 53 inches. I'm going to add extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. Now, the next thing I will do is to measure my shoulder to armhole line 7.5, then my shoulder to my bust point 10.5, 9.5, sorry. Then my shoulder to waist I will use 14. My shoulder to hip line I will use 21.5. Now, having done this, I will mark my shoulder measurement, divide by 2 plus half, which is 7.5. Now I will mark whatever I have here on my chest line and connect my lines together. I'll divide my shoulder measurement, my bust measurement by 4 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll come to my hip, my waist measurement, divide by 4 to give me 7 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll do the same thing to my hip. My hip is 8.5. The hip measurement is 34. Divided by 4 will give me 8.5 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance. So whatever I have on my hip measurement, I'm going to add. Here I have 10.5. So I'm going to come to the hemline, the bottom part. I'm going to add 2 inches extra to it. So here I have 10.5. So I'll add 2 inches extra to it. That means I'm going to mark 12.5 at the bottom part. So having done this, I'm just going to connect my lines together. Now for the neck, I'm going to come down by 5.5 inches. So I'll come down by 5.5 inches for the neck depth of the front. Then for the neck width, I will use 3 inches for the neck width, and I'll connect my lines like this. Then for this shoulder area, the armhole area, I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch for the shoulder slope. So for this part, I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole line, and I'm going to connect it down like this. So having done this, I'm going to cut it out. Now having done this, I'm going to place this one at the back part, I'm going to use this to cut the back part. Now I'm done folding the back part. You can see I'm done folding it. So the next thing I will do is to cut what I have out, and I added 1 inch extra for zipper allowance. So right now I'm going to cut it out. Now I'm done cutting both the front and the back piece together now. So what I will be doing right now is to bring out my neck depth of the back. So I'm just going to come down by 1 inch for the neck depth of the back, and I'm going to connect my lines like this. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to open up the zipper line. Now let's cut the belt sleeve. For the belt sleeve, I'm going to fold my fabric like this so I can have the full length of the sleeve. Now my full length of the sleeve that I'm working with is 20 inches, and I'll further go ahead to add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So 20 plus 2, I'm going to have about 22 inches. So I'm going to connect it down. Now, having done this, the next thing I'll do is to bring out my sleeve cap's height. A sleeve cap's height is 3.5. So I'm going to mark a straight line to meet with this part here. I'm going to bring out the midpoint like this. So at this midpoint, at this area, I'll come up by half an inch and connect it to this part here. And also connect it to meet with the midpoint. Now at this area, I'll also come down by half an inch. And I'm going to connect it to meet with the sleeve scarf side, this part here, and further connect it to meet with the midpoint. So now I have my armhole shaving curve here. So for the belt sleeve, you need to determine how wide you want it to be. So for mine, I want it to be 12, which is 24. So it's going to be, I'm going to mark 12 here. 24 divided by 2, of course, is 12. So I'm going to mark it here. So in order for me to know, at this point, I'm going to mark my sleeve measurement, my armhole measurement, divide by my armhole measurement. That is what I will mark here. So my armhole is 7.5 plus extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect. I add extra 1 inch for sewing allowance, and I'm going to connect my line like this. So at this area, I'll come up by 1 inch and connect it to the midpoint of what I have here. So here I have 6.5 will be my midpoint. So I'm just going to connect it to meet with this 1 inch here to give it a little curve. So I'm just going to cut what I have. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to place this particular one to cut the second sleeve. So I'm going to fold it again and cut the second sleeve out.